Come in. Come in. Hello, old souls, fellow empaths, seers, psychonauts, however you may resonate with the term old souls. Welcome. If you're new, welcome. If you're returning, welcome home. We are going to scry this bookmark made in your name and essence, and we're going to scry for shapes and symbols that may speak to our psyche and psychic senses. We'll add on tarot and oracle in the shaman's palm configuration. Watching. Thank you. And where Mr. Ghosty here is, as you just heard, we have Ghost Tube for any audio additions from the afterlife that may further add to our auric adventures. Overall, please do receive a release freely. I want to thank you for your time, attention, and awareness, as your presence and perspective is powerful. Gratitude galore, and let's go.
It's inside.
Yes, it's inside the Inkblot. I'm going to take a moment to open up before the reveal. You're welcome to join me, or you can fast forward through a scooch or two. Taking a nice deep breath. Closing the eyes, cleansing the palette of perception, releasing the race and the rush. Activating the abstract mind and ancient awareness to perceive and receive symbolic support. In the name and honor of fellow empaths, seers, and psychonauts, old souls, thank you for being my muse, and may you meet a message with meaning. All right, there you go. Feel well to comment below what you see, sense, or feel, if anything's standing out and speaking, and nurture and inspire our interconnected nature. Drop an emoji. Any interactions with the channel is appreciated. All right. There's a book. I'll get my fingers. I'll take a look at this talisman card in a minute. There's a book here open. I feel like I'm in a recipe book. I am exchanging recipes. Recipes of reality, perhaps, different concepts. This could be a friend or confidant, or you're working with somebody specifically in spirit or a spirit guide. I'm going to note just for one moment as it's calling me very clearly. These are recipes of realities. It's somebody not directly, it's somebody not in density. So even if there's somebody, a friend, a coworker, if you're part of the secret society, whatever the case may be is, while there's something about distance, but it's non-density distance. It's almost as if the spirit you communicate to and interact with, and maybe there's somebody physical as well that you interact with, and their spirit guide or the spirit of. It's almost as if I could even say a higher self conversation, because there's blatantly non-density distance happening in this, even though it's really, really close. So the conversation is close.
Shine.
Release the Kraken. Release the Kraken. There's a scuba diver here, but I'm actually friends with the Kraken when I wander into that. I don't know if you sense that, somebody or within oneself, whatever release the Kraken might mean to you, and lo and behold, you're friends with the Kraken, became friends with the Kraken. The Kraken, release the Kraken. This Kraken, that also can be, if it's more land oriented, you might know it as a dragon symbol, if that means anything to you. If you're working more with air, not solely these elements, but just as, it would be more of like a phoenix or an eagle. Okay, nope, it's an eagle. And if you're working with fire, it would be more phoenix oriented. Same symbol, different indicator, incarnations type thing. Again, there's an exchanging of reality recipes. It's protecting these golden nuggets. Golden eggs of sorts as well, because there is information being exchanged at the gold level. The gold frequency in this close conversation that has some form of non-density distance associated with it. Okay, so I'm wandering in here. I feel like I'm following a path that's going to take
What
me
is that?
forward, but I'm going to cross over this. So I feel like I'm right here. I've come from these two lines here. I'm communicating with these energies. Am I communicating with them or am I just aware of their presence? I'm aware of them. I'm aware of them. It's like coming in from, typically we might see a fork in the road this way, but I feel like it's not a fork, but in the spirit of, I think you've taken both ways or you've tried this way, that way, and it's come to like the pinnacle of, your pyramid, your power triangle, your trifecta. Okay? So each of these beings that are kind of on the other side, can I bring it up right in here of this peak? Or if you're on top of the mountain of some sort of success, I,
Are
I
you
feel
from
I
here?
feel like I want to ask somebody if you're acknowledging your successes, big or small. There's not another fork in the road. What it is a crossing over. There's a crossing over a threshold that's going to take me into even more. It's a different story. It's a different story, but it's like how I said before, the phoenix of fire, the eagle of air, different elements, because there's a strengthening of this gold energy. These beings off to the side that are watching me, they gobble the road behind me.
We're here.
Hello. Hello. They gobble the road behind me in a positive way. I'm seeing, is it Alice in Wonderland, the Disney cartoon? At some point in time, she's walking, and there's a dog with that has like a broom head, and all I can hear is. So if she was to turn back, she can't see her path because it's almost like there's no turning back. This is not a bad thing. I hope that didn't just go. That's it's not what I was implying, old souls. But I really feel like there's something you can tell within yourself. There's some tell that is indicating this accomplishment.
What brought you here?
And to acknowledge what brought you to this point. Thank you. Let's take a look at the talisman card to support. Let go. There's that path. Can't hold on to it. The tells might also be like pinches of things that you care about. The pinch point might be here and now, like at that
You
pinnacle,
don't
and it
understand.
could be a pinch. I acknowledge what you just said goes to you don't understand, but I want to add in reference to that because of the way it made me feel is I'm not actually going to say that because and maybe you hear that from others around you. Maybe we can say it in a mature manner, but then there's also like this pansy manner. I'm not trying to be nasty, but the way I heard it is, well, you don't understand. And it was like, as an old soul empath, you guys out
Hey,
there, you're like, so you don't want to be understood, right? Like there's something in that tone, that recipe that personalizes. The recipe may be this, da 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 da, but all these little, a pinch of this and a dash of that can change the outcome, change the dynamics of how this tastes. In if you make something and then you share it with somebody and they put it in there, they're like, oh, I thought this was sourdough bread, but this is just sour dough. And so, again, I'm not trying to be nasty, but hopefully you can understand this because it's this. I'm seeing this frowny face. It's like, well, you don't understand.
lower your voice.
I feel like the old soul's mature manner is, well, then we can take some time, whatever that may mean to you, help me understand. Or if somebody else is using it as a defense mechanism, just be like, well, you just don't understand. And it cuts the conversation off, because that understanding would mean co-understanding. If we're holding space and taking time to understand, there must be in balance a willingness of reciprocity of that recipe to understand the other and allow the recipe to become better. Change from, if there's meat in it, to vegan or vegetarian, and so those are just examples. But a lot of people are like, nope, you don't understand. And it's okay. Sometimes I also feel like old souls, and hopefully I'm not, maybe this is just anyway, when that happens, it's like, well, you don't understand. That's an acknowledgement of, well, I need to determine if it's worth your understanding. I've said something else.
Chains.
Because it could chain you to something that's really not for you to understand, because you've already done it in your way. You might notice that you trigger some people positively and negatively. It's like you're a walking battery that, have you ever, like, with those square batteries and you put it on your tongue, it's like, zzz, zzz, whoa, horrible feeling. But that's kind of it. It's like you're walking around with positive, negative, depending on how they interact with you. I don't mean this to sound so external, because I think the maturity that I'm sensing here in the old souls is because of knowing your elements and like shifting them around, air, earth, fire, whatever the case may be. It's like lighting up your chakras when it's the best one to move through a scenario, even if that moving through that scenario is walking away. I'm like, this is actually isn't for me. But thank you for trying to make it about me, but it's not. And that comes in here because I'm seeing almost like this. I don't want to call it a devilish creature per se, but it's another, I want to call it a shapeshifter, actually, is exactly what I want to call it. In the positive context of your maturity, shapeshifting has its place to coalesce and co-create and co-communicate, closing or opening, right? It's like one of those phalanges. You have like a frequency phalange. And in
Finish.
others, there's like this, it's almost, I'm going to say it this way, a projection of power doesn't always prove power. Okay. All right. So you've let go something, and you continue to let go of these things, and maybe this is what it's about. Okay, I'll grab you.
Stressed.
Acknowledging stresses, yes, perhaps in life, because I was just seeing blood, sweat, and tears. What is that? Crying wolf or something like that? Crying wolf. You might have somebody around you that cries wolf. The story of like crying wolf. Sorry, I'm down in here. And yet it's very sheepish. Something pagany is coming through.
Lower your voice.
Yeah, I don't know how else to say that. Something pagan inspired is coming through. Cave of Ice. There is a lotus forming, but this lotus forming has the protection of thorns like the rose. Ancestor of Hope is coming through in the Cave of Ice. I'm just going to lay out all of the shaman's palm, and then we'll pitter patter get at her. Cave of Winds for old souls. Dancer of Lies. Cave of Hearth Fires. Spirit of Initiation. And if I... Cave of Rivers. One moment. Sorry. Thank you. Ancestor of Skill. Squeeze me. Share the board. Cave of Earth. Ancestor of Exile. This is that letting go, Connie. Knowing when to walk away maturely. Okay, so I'm going to say this kindly, with the intention of kindness, but also with a matter of fact. It's not your job to fix stupid. I don't want to be insulting with the term stupid. That's my personal hesitation and stuff. And maybe there's other old souls that can look around and make that call. What is, stupid? I don't even like the word. However, it's almost like by removing that insult to acknowledge, if somebody... Because I don't know if sometimes you sense a competitiveness in a maturity of a multidimensional nature, or this peacock el poofery of the world in some way, in whatever the world might be, and you're realizing a lot of falsities, and that's why your flangey thing is pretty well equipped, and you might have a lot of these, even air vents. And it's like, I'm at the point, old souls, where I'm like, I don't even refer to it in a dumbassery or something like that. Because I understand being a guest here with you being the I. They are learning their own way. Okay. And while sometimes you may step in to support the learning and growth, there's also times like, riding a bicycle and you take your hand off and you're like, okay, figure it out. I support that too. I support that bravery, that courage. If that's the way you want to go about it, I support that as well, because I understand it has value. Okay. Thank you. Because in the Cave of Winds, this is what you're fleshing out with this phalange. I keep saying phalange and now it's weird. There's an old hope stepping forward. You are riding on the chest of a zebra, a sacred zebra. Not everyone sees or knows of this. Not everyone knows or sees of it. I don't know how else to say that. Also in this card here, what's standing out is these, I'm sure there may be horns or ears. I'm seeing it as a zebra this time. I'm actually seeing these as two people, and they're going to the nose of this. You were able to take a ride and hitch a ride on the front chest plate where this higher self hope exists. Not the hope of hostage, where it holds you hostage. You were actually able to take it to a place that helped cleared things out, any sort of lies, and coming into the spirit, the Cave of Hearth Fires, spirit of initiation. We were talking about inspiration. And now you meet this. I think this might be up here with that recipe book of realities. That being, that energy, guide, whatever it is, close in density, or whatever, however I said it, I came gone. It's like right gone. Non-density. I can't. Something about stained glass as well. Stained glass. Like a Tiffany lamp. Thank you. This skill with the ancestor of skill here in your cave of rivers. Your skill of feeling things out. Use your flange. Flush. It's like, because I'm seeing it like a stained glass. Have you ever seen those like shorts and stuff, or those reels where the glass artists make these things? But then I'm seeing it specifically with stained glass. It's like, so there's a skill set to learn how to melt glass, mold
Pick
glass,
me.
and then there's another skill set or a different skill set to make it in stained glass, or to be a sculptor. A sculptor is spiritually speaking, symbolically speaking. I think a lot of this you've been doing sleepwalking, and like a walking in the sleep state. You might be carried off and do a lot of initiation work in your sleep. And I'm not talking about sleep. Oh, I had a dream, and I'm not trying to diminish. I love talking dreams. We talk dreams here all the time. That's not what I'm talking about. It's like, if I could remember the dream, that's the surface of the subconscious state. So whatever this skill and initiation that you've been doing, even through letting go lies that maybe the surface of earth or the waking life has been telling, but it's almost like that's their truth, your lie, positive and negative poles of things. And you're like, well, that's your truth. And you're going to carry out that. You're going to carry that out. And they're going to look at you and be like, you're going to carry that out. It's like, everyone's going to carry it out. But you hold a maturity. So I want to stay in that before I get all weird about it. Okay. Thank you. So these skills, it's like moving through even below. It's like into the root spaces, the root chakras of the subconscious space. So the dream symbols that come forward are but the surface there. Somebody might even have like, I don't know how to say this. It's almost like if memories were removed, or is it hypnosis? I feel like, oh, sorry, did something like just, oh man, no, things are getting funny. I feel as though it's like something along the lines of, it's not that they're necessarily removed or erased, and hypnosis may be able to recover them to a degree. This is inherently knowing. It doesn't need to be known from a speechable space, because it's already infused in your elements, and it's almost like you sense it, and you sense the inspiration from this very, very deep place that I think is like more of a school setting of sorts, or it's a gathering space of sorts beyond the surface of the subconscious. I'm going to stop trying to figure it out. And then when I come into the cave of earth, there's this ancestor of exile coming through, and it's enforced. The security is enforced because of the preciousness of the skills of said students, teachers, coexisting, co-exchanging, co-creating at once. Because I'm seeing all these, if I can get my shadow out of the way. Oh, for heavens and hot dogs, seriously, come on. So if this was like the big stained glass Tiffany lamp of sorts, and then there's all these conversations, it almost feels like a playground, like a crystal land. Oh, that feeling is still right here. Right there. I don't know what it is. It's very odd. It's like ticklish, but yet not. I'm in a playground. So here's the other thing it's changing on me. just as I get ready to let you go. And there's an opening here. It's like we're out for recess. Like playing on the surface of the subconscious, playing on the surface of the conscious is like recess. It's reality.
Thirst.
It's quite incredible. Okay, old souls. I'm gonna get ready to head on over to the extended. If you're going to join us, the link is below if you're part of the Secret Tarot Society, or if you'd like to visit us in Vimeo. But I'm going to use a few tarot cards as a bridge to get us over. So, are you ready? So we have here the Page of Wands, the Five of Pentacles, Ace of Swords, the King of Wands. Oh, I need one more. Okay. 2 for the Cave of Earth. We have the Two of Pentacles and 1 unseen. We'll check on the other side. So we're going to flip this bookmark and we're going to tie in these tarot cards. But please, by all means, if it means something to you in that snapshot, follow that first. I love it. Thank you. Thank you for your time, attention, and awareness. I hope this did serve, inspire,
To your right.
educate, or entertain. To the right, to the right. I will see you soon. So much love.